harrowing story of Orsolya Gaal. A chilling story has evolved in one of the main cities of New York, Queens. First, all the neighbors were alarmed to hear this harrowing news of Orsolya Gaal, who is a Forest Hills mother of two whose body was found in a blood-soaked duffel bag. Now, this harrowing story has created a lot of questions about the security of the citizens, as the surveillance footage from the vicinity documented an unknown figure who was dragging a wheeled duffel bag in the path of Gaal's home. And that is, according to the report of the NYPD on April 17. This might be disturbing to hear, but Orsolya Gaal, who was found dismembered in a duffel bag earlier this year, was reportedly jabbed more than 50 times, and the accused handyman reported this from Queens, who has confessed to being guilty of the crime. Melinda Katz, who is the district attorney for Queens, indicated on Wednesday, November 2, 2022, that the 44-year-old David Benola admitted killing in the death of Orsolya Gaal, and that's what tempted the killing of a 51-year-old who was brutally massacred on April 16, 2022 at her Forest Hills home by Benola, who confessed to first-degree manslaughter, and he decided to serve 25 years in prison. In a statement, Katz declared that on April 16, just after midnight, a handyman named David Benola, who had formerly worked for Gaal, got onto her home, where she had just returned from a night out. So let's look at what exactly happened. According to the police, we got to find that Gaal reportedly went out with friends in the last hours before her demise, and then she returned home before midnight. But things were not as simple as they sounded. After an argument between the two blew up, he allegedly jabbed Gaal more than 50 times, and then slit her throat, leaving her dead. Around 4:30 a.m. now, on November 5th, it was noticed that something was rolling a duffel bag down the sidewalk with numerous cameras. On that morning, her body was stuffed in a hockey bag in Forest Park, Queens. This bag, with Gaal's body in it, was found around 8 a.m., a few blocks away near the intersection of Metropolitan Avenue and the Jackie Robinson Parkway. Well, her body was found by a dog walker, Glenn Van Nostrand, 51. He let out that at first, he assumed that a dummy was plugged into the enormous pouch, but when he looked inside, he saw black ankle-length jeans, a belt, and a woman's waist, and he instantly called the cops. According to the authorities, the woman is well aware of the people she was socializing with, and they are presently being questioned. A recent report stated that the suspect in the killing of Queen's mom, Orsolya Gaal, wrote to her husband a very alarming message from her phone saying, "Your whole family is next." This is certainly horrifying to see. After this message was sent, the victim's husband, Howard Klein, who was in Portland, Oregon, with the duo's 17-year-old son, was on a college hunt, and they received this ominous text message from the killer who horrified the family. As the police were very much well aware of this type of murder situation, they knew something was fishy. Law enforcement suspected that the assassin knew Gaal, as there were no cues of a break-in at home, and they were considering the fierce nature of the crime. They implied that the aggression was personal, and it was committed in anger precisely towards her. They knew the victim and the culprit were entangled in something personal that tempted the killer to fulfill his aim of stabbing the victim. Slashes on her palms and fingers clearly stated that she was defensive, although her defensive acts did not help her. James Essig, the NYPD chief of detectives, disclosed that the killer and Gaal had been dating off and on for at least 2 years during Benola's arrest. Yes, this might be surprising, but the victim and the killer were having an affair, and according to authorities. However, they reportedly got back together in April 2022. Their relationship was already over when Gaal was killed. As per the police, we already said that a man discovered a bag on April 16, 2022 at 8 a.m. while he was walking with his dog close to Metropolitan Avenue and Forest Park Drive. When the police came, they found a woman's body inside, which had not started to decompose. And the police knew that the killing was fresh. You must be thinking about how the police learned about the victim. Well, let's talk about it. First, the duffel bag was said to have left a blood trail that, according to CBS 2, directed the police authorities to a home on Juno Street, where they believe Orsolya Gaal lived. According to her neighbors, Gaal lived with her husband and their two boys aged 13 and 17. They expressed that she was a stay-at-home mother who adored her kids. Now you can feel how this happy family was destroyed by this brutal murder, which also created many questions regarding the safety of citizens. What do you think about this story of Orsolya Gaal? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for more.